What's up, guys? Welcome to VHP Engines. I'm Chris, and today's topic is going to be the SOHC VTEC versus B18 LS. Now, to make this work properly, to have this, be explained properly, we're gonna have to give this a handicap, like we did similarly with the B20. And the handicap there was we gave it a VTEC transmission to work with, to have the shorter gears, to make it more competitive. In this instance, what we're going to do is we are going to add, the handicap is going to be weight, and it's based off of chassis. All right, the reason why I still think this is effective is because if you have a lighter car, if you have a hatch, an EF, or something like this that you're considering, if you have like a single cam VTEC in there already and you're considering swapping to a B18 or whatnot, this is why you may want to really think about what you're doing. If you're going to just a straight up raw LS. Now, the very first Honda I had was EG hatch. I had a piece of shit D16 in there, non-VTEC. My first swap I ever did was to a D15B, right? JDM SOHC VTEC. All right. Now, these engines are rated 128 horsepower and like 101 foot-pound torque. All right. So it's not like great. Now, when you line it up next to the B18 LS, it's the LS are rated around about 140 horsepower, like 128 foot-pounds of torque. So it seems like in here we have we don't have a torque advantage from the single cam, obviously, but we do have like a very close proximity of horsepower range. So that kind of, closes the gap a little bit. Now, when I was racing, and I used to race a lot with that single cam, I would beat the holy dog shit out of it. I never lost to a B18, that was in a coupe or anything like that. Anything that had any chassis that was heavier than mine, if I had a B18 in it, I would beat it by a car and change. Like, it was to the point where I used to clown my boy. He had an EK with a B18 swap in it, and I would give him a car and still fucking roast him up. Like, pull on him nasty and pass him. As a matter of fact, the only race I can remember losing with that D15 that was like in the same power bracket as me in that car, obviously, was against a Del Sol Adam D16 Y8, and I pushed it and pushed it and pushed it. He pulled ahead of me by a car. I was on his back bumper, could never close the distance, and we raced multiple times because I couldn't believe I couldn't get him. So now to talk about in comparison the D16 Z6 and Y8. Oh, real quick though, before I move on past the D15B, 128 horsepower, 101 foot-pounds torque. I know a lot of you guys, like for the longest time on the channel, like to mention that three-stage VTEC. That three-stage VTEC isn't a power adder. The single cam that has a three-stage VTEC is the same power rating as the one that doesn't. And it's the only thing it is it just runs it runs more economically. That's all that is designed for. It's not a power adder. So people hear three-stage VTEC and are like, oh my God, more power, more VTEC because there's three stages of it. No, it's not that serious. It's just, it closes off some shit. It decreases lift to burn less fuel. That's all. All right, so take a look. Oh Jesus, my shit's freezing. Okay, here we go. So D15B, 128 horsepower and 101 foot-pounds torque. And then we'll get down to, let's start with the Y8. Now, the Y8 and the Z6 doesn't really have that much difference in power, but I will say that, fucking with the Z6 that I had and then hopping in a car that had a Y8, the Y8 is noticeably pulled harder. But I think that also could factor in the fact that maybe the Y8 in that car was healthier than the Z6 that I had. Not saying that the Z6 I had ran bad or anything, but that, wear and tear, mileage, and all that shit, does play a factor into it. And as gunk and shit builds up, your car loses horsepower. So maybe the old Z6 I had just wasn't as fresh and clean as the Y8 that I was riding with at the time. All right, so a Y8 has 1 horsepower less, but 6 more foot-pounds torque than the D15B. And the Z6 is also right around that same range. Or no, Okay, so the Z6 has 125 horsepower and 106 foot-pounds of torque. So like a couple horsepower less, a couple of torque more. So I guess, you know, that's the reason why I don't really differentiate too much between them. I would prefer to go with the white because, like I said, you know, like the whites I've experienced pulled harder than the other single cams I've fucked with. But generally speaking, you get one SOHC VTEC, and as long as it's healthy, you're gonna get pretty much the same, like all across the board. And as far as the B18 goes, they're pretty much the same all across the board too, give or take a couple of horsepower. So, you know, anytime, like I said, with my single cam and my hatch, and my hatch was full interior, I didn't have any crazy race things with it. I mean, I had stock suspension, fucking full interior. The car was nothing special, and I would dog it all the time. I would even hang with fucking, like, you know, the VTEC 4th gen fucking Preludes and shit, like the H22s. It would never really be a bad loss. Like, I would, you know, I even clowned on my boy with the B16 a bunch of times on the highway. You know, that's the good thing about having a slow car. It doesn't matter if you lose because you're expected to lose. And if you do something more than you expect, then it's great. So, you know, even fucking with my homeboy in the B16, like, I would fucking get an early jump on him because of the weight advantage until he would fucking pop VTEC and eat me down. So the thing is, like, when you're looking at cost, you know, it's just, I wouldn't say, and a straight up B18, like a raw, fucking non-modified straight B18 swap is just a complete waste of money. Now, the B18 is a great block, and is a favorite block of mine because it's so versatile. There's so many different things you can do with that shit. Even if you decide not to, you know, not to do VTEC with that, you can still, you know, you can still hybridize and do all kinds of shit to bump up compression and shit and make it a good engine. But if you're looking, again, you know, because like I said in the other versus video, like if you're just looking for a swap to just drop in place because you're looking to go faster, yes, the B18 is going to be faster in that car. It's, you know, if it's a lightweight car that you have and you're beating B18s and you put a B18 in there, then your car's going to be faster still than those guys and maybe that much more faster, but the power difference isn't huge enough to make a big difference. You're looking at like the torque is where the biggest difference is. You're looking at you're bumping up 27 foot-pounds of torque, and you're also, you know, but you're only bumping up like 13 horsepower, so you'll have a harder rip offline and shit like that. But at the end, peak power is going to be kind of close to what you're already used to, so you might notice a faster launch, but not really much more up top. So you know, if you've already got a single cam, a VTEC single cam in your car, whatever the car that you picked up, and you're looking to go B series, definitely fucks with the B20 because it's on par in cost, you know, as the B18 is. And I think that the biggest waste of money for a B swap is the B18, unless you're gonna fuck with it. And because we're not talking about fucking with it, because this is stock versus stock, then if you have a single cam and you're contemplating spending, you know, how much, $1,000 maybe, that's on the cheap side, to go B series, then definitely don't go B18 because you can buy a fucking complete single cam swap. Or here, if you got a fucking shell, and you're looking for a swap to go in, you could buy a complete single cam swap for $500 fucking dollars, like drop in, ready to go. So if you're looking at like something like that versus you know, swapping in a B18 and you're just grabbing an LS because you picking up the LS cheap, you got to consider that B series swap is always going to be more expensive because even if you get it complete, like who the fuck sells a B18, you know, a complete B series swap at the same price of a single cam? A desperate crackhead or somebody who stole it. And that's about it. Because even let's say if you get the B18 itself at like a super discount price, like $200, $300, because that's not unheard of. Pick up one, just a long block, $200 or $300. You still got to buy a transmission. And more often than not, you're going to pay more than $300 for that transmission. So you're already looking at $600, and that's if you're buying at crackhead prices already. So at crackhead prices already, you're already $100 over what a complete D series swap is, and you still got to buy all the accessories. You know, especially if you're going into a shell, harness, fucking axles, motor mounts, you know, ECU, shift linkage. At the end of the day, you know, when you're looking at effectiveness for power and performance and cost, the single cam wins by far in this situation. And I would say it's easy to argue B20 versus B16. Like, it's not the only huge win factor you get in the B20 is the cost effectiveness there. But in this D series single cam, the VTEC versus like the B18 LS, you're getting performance for sure, and fucking cost, especially if you're going into like a lightweight car already. So if you're in like, unless the car is just like 100% project and you're just looking, you're looking to hybridize or whatnot, then it's definitely better to go with the SOHC VTEC, and you'll have a lot of fun with that. And the SOHC VTEC is like 20 or 28 to 30 horsepower faster or more powerful than its non-VTEC brothers. So, and you can get them at the same price. So definitely consider fucking with the single cam VTEC. And even if you are wanting to make more power on down the line, you guys have seen my videos enough to know that the single cam is by far the cheapest way to make power, and it makes good power. So definitely say that the single cam wins this one. And I will continue with the Versus series, because it seems to be like the new thing that's popular for the channel. And the next one will most likely be the CTR engine versus the GSR, and I look forward to that one too. All right, guys. All social media links are in the description below. I don't generally follow people back on social media except Snapchat. So if you have me on Snapchat, I'll add you back there. I've kind of slowed down on Snapchat recently, simply because of the fact that I have a lot of people that have added me there. But the whole reason why I was doing Snapchat to begin with was quick updates. They were like a minute or two long. But it seems like most people start watching like the first clip and they can't pass the 10 seconds. So it was like, what's the point of me making the effort to update people there if nobody's really paying attention? So, all right, guys. Peace. I'll see y'all next time.